Hey everyone. Before we dive into this insane dating disaster, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a wild story like this one. Trust me, you won't want to miss what happens next. All right, let's get into it. Sarah had been swiping through dating apps for months, dodging weirdos, gym bros, and the occasional profile that was just a blurry photo of a car. When she matched with Jake, she thought she'd finally hit the jackpot. His messages were witty, he had a solid job, and most importantly, he didn't start the conversation with, "Hey, you up?" After a few weeks of texting and some late night calls that had her grinning into her pillow, they finally set a date for dinner. Jake had suggested a charming little Italian bistro downtown, the kind with dim lighting and soft violin music that practically whispered romance. Sarah arrived a few minutes early, dressed in her favorite black dress, feeling a mix of excitement and first date jitters. She scanned the room and spotted Jake at a corner table, looking just as good in person as he did in his photos, maybe even better. She exhaled, relieved. So far, so good. "Hey, you made it." Jake stood up, grinning as he pulled out a chair for her. "Of course. I wasn't going to miss out on pasta and great company." She smiled as she sat down, already feeling at ease. The waiter brought menus, the strow, and they started chatting about work, favorite movies, and the worst dates they'd ever been on. Everything was going great until Jake's eyes lit up and he waved enthusiastically at the entrance. Sarah turned around, expecting to see an old friend or maybe another guy doing a cringy public proposal. Instead, a well-dressed woman in her mid-50s strode toward them, a radiant smile on her face. "There's my little Jakey," she cooed, placing a hand on his shoulder before turning to Sarah. "And you must be the lucky lady. I'm Jake's mom, Deborah." Sarah blinked, then blinked again. Surely this was some kind of joke. Jake chuckled, completely oblivious to Sarah's confusion. "I told my mom all about you. She was so excited. I just had to bring her along." Sarah's stomach did a somersault, not the good kind. "Oh, wow. That's unexpected." Deborah sat down like she'd been invited, smoothing out her blouse before locking eyes with Sarah. "So, dear, what are your intentions with my son?" Sarah forced a polite laugh, glancing at Jake, who looked pleased as punch. Was she being pranked? She peeked around for cameras, half expecting a TV host to jump out and yell, "Gotcha!" But no, this was real. Horrifyingly real. As the appetizers arrived, Deborah continued her interrogation, firing off questions like an overzealous job interviewer. "Do you want kids? What's your 5-year plan? Do you know how to cook? Jakey likes his lasagna just right." Sarah could barely get a word in. Meanwhile, Jake just sat there, nodding along as if this was totally normal behavior for a grown man on a date. She considered faking a phone call, but before she could, the waiter appeared with their entrees. "Great," she thought. "I'm now trapped in a hostage situation with a side of fettuccine." Deborah launched into an elaborate story about Jake's childhood, complete with mimed hand gestures. "Oh, Jakey was the sweetest little boy. He used to dress up as a pirate and make me walk the plank in our living room. And oh, did he tell you about the time he refused to sleep without his stuffed giraffe, Mr. Cuddles?" Sarah's smile was now frozen in place. Jake, instead of stopping this humiliation, added, "Mr. Cuddles is still around. I keep him on my nightstand." Sarah choked on her wine. The night trudged on, and Sarah learned every embarrassing detail of Jake's past. Deborah whipped out her phone and started showing pictures of baby Jake in a bathtub, dressed as a pumpkin for Halloween, and, oh, dear God, a video of him singing a Backstreet Boys song at age 10. Sarah knew she needed an escape plan. Fast. She reached for her purse, clearing her throat. "Well, this has been an experience, but I should really get going." Jake frowned. "Already?" "Yes," Sarah said, standing up. "I just realized that I left my goldfish in the oven." Jake's brows knitted in confusion. Deborah, however, narrowed her eyes. "Oh dear, are you sure? I was about to pull up some baby photos of Jakey on my phone." Sarah grabbed her coat, plastering on her best fake smile. "As tempting as that is, I really should." Jake stood up, reaching for her hand. "Wait, don't you want to at least split dessert? Mom makes an amazing chocolate lava cake like she can tell the kitchen exactly how to." Sarah was already halfway out the door. Jake sent a text later that night, apologizing for not warning her, but adding, "Mom thought you were lovely. When can we do this again?" Sarah blocked his number. She opened her dating app, sighed, and started swiping again. Maybe next time she'd just adopt a cat instead.